All right, what's up and what's going on, everybody? This is Al, and these are just my thoughts. I'm on my way now over to the store and get some items, and at the same time go wash my truck real quick. Even though I think we got some rain coming, I'm gonna still go ahead and take it through the wash just to knock off anything that may be on it. The rain won't hurt it, but I'm just gonna knock it off anyway. Sunday, do some things. Sometimes you wake up and you just feel like doing it. So anyway, what's going on, y'all? What's up? I want to talk to my delivery guys, ladies. And this is me just giving some input, some insight as to what it used to be like when I was in this game from 21 to 2025. And pretty much I was in it, and I came in as what you consider a home run hitter when it came to making deliveries. I never believed in giving anybody something for nothing. Can I say that the app may have tricked me once before, right? Where I thought I seen something and it didn't come out to be what I expected. Yes, that happens. It's the delivery game. You got to pay attention. You got to make sure that you on your your P's and Q's when it comes to making these deliveries for these apps, because they are in the business for making money, and it doesn't matter to them if they get paid as low as $1. When you take that and you multiply it by all the drivers that are out there in these streets doing what they're doing, that money adds up quick. Anybody a historic that remember things back in 1920s, like Harlem, for me, used to be a money bag, a money grab for people that ran numbers back in the 20s. And these were like pennies. But those pennies added up, and they made a lot of money off of that. So basically, that is what the apps are doing now. They've been doing it, right? The thing that's for us being in America, right? For us being in the United States, you hear about other countries where they send all the work over to other countries because they get poor labor, right? Poor labor management. And they do almost anything for nothing. Here in the United States, that does exist, but you do have the freedom. You have opportunity. That's why a lot of people come to America, because they have opportunity that they may not feel they can have in other countries, right? So here we see it taking place in the delivery game. Imagine an app giving you access to their platform, free, no HR, no real interview. You're not meeting anybody face to face. You don't even, without going online, you don't even know who the owners are for the most part of these apps. You've never seen their face. You don't know who is behind. You really don't have a supervisor. The app keeps up with whatever's happening. But as far as a real person that is in your area, that is responsible for your well-being, of making sure that you do everything right, that you can go to as a liaison, they don't exist, right? Everything is just based off numbers when it comes to the apps. But the funny thing, you see a lot of drivers, for some reason, when it comes to the complaint, they're always trying to put it on the customer. For some reason, they try to put all their worries and their woes on the customers. They try to talk down at the customers. They try to belittle the customers. They call them clowns. They call them fools. They call them cheap. They call them this. They call them that. Anything their name can come out of their mouth, that is what they call customers for some reason. I've never had to worry about that lane, right? Because, like I said, I see things as common sense. If you sitting there in your house and somebody asks you to go to the store for them, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to do that. If you're going to the store and they want you to bring something back, then yeah, you're going to do that. But if somebody say, hey man, hey, why don't you go around to the store for me? I'm going to be like, hey, okay, why don't you give me $20? That's real talk. That is, I don't care if you're my friend, if you family, that's different, right? Family is different. But when it comes to a friend, or it comes to somebody that could be sitting in the room with you guys, and they say that because they realize your car is the one that's out and it's available more easier than the other cars. Okay, give me 20 and you got it. If not, we'll just go ahead and bag these cars out and you'll get it yourself. I'm not about to take a chance and jeopardize my car, right, to go get you something because you feel the need of it or you want. Not gonna do that. But you have drivers, though, that blame the apps. I mean, I blame the customers. And it should be the other way around. It should be that you get mad at the apps. But I get it. It's more easier to get mad at the customers because the apps already told you from the jump what they were going to pay. $2 here, maybe $4 at the most, but they're not going to budge pretty much past that number. Now, does Uber Eats every now and then lift up and take care of the situation and nip it in the bud and just go ahead and pay out to the pay out to the driver? Every now and then, once in a blue moon, they do this. But for the most part, it doesn't work that way. So we have drivers versus customers. And you see content creators, you see comments, and they're just bagging on the customers. Without the customers, you have no identity, nothing. You have no say in how you're going to make your money. Because if an app is only going to give you $2 for making the delivery and a customer gives you nothing, then you're only going to make that $2 from the app. So who really should you be mad at? Because you got to remember, the customer has to pay for the service. They're buying the food, right? You can say whatever you want about them being lazy, about them not going to get it themselves, about them not trying to tip you anything because they don't feel the obligation to have to, right? Or however you feel about it. But at the same time, the person that you should be getting mad at is the app, because the app is the one that is making all the money off of everyone, from the restaurant to the stores, if they have these businesses under their belt. Because a lot of these businesses, they just have on their list, but these restaurants don't even work with these apps. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of time these apps just go in and they grab resources from the restaurant. They look up pricing and all that kind of stuff. They can have people going around taking camera shots of these restaurants and then getting an idea of what the prices are like. When people are trying to make money like that, they will do everything possible to make sure they dot their I's and cross their T's. So a lot of these restaurants don't even work with the apps, right? So, like I said, the apps make money all the way around. But drivers, for some reason, get mad at the customers. Want to blame the customers. Cheap. Think I'm doing this for fun? That's what you should be telling the apps. That is, you should be calling the apps bluff, right? When I was doing this, I didn't budge. If I went, like I'm up right now, it is after 6:47. I will be on station by 6:30. And I will go to areas and I would just sit. And if nothing was happening, this is when I had that type of energy for this. And when nothing was happening, I could take it or leave it. It didn't bother me, right? I'm not thinking about the AR. I'm not thinking about whatever the app is going to do. Is it going to kick me off if I don't make moves or something like that? No, I'm not going to be your fool, right? I don't care about you making money if I'm not. If I'm not making any money, nobody's going to make any money. No customer is going to get their delivery, right? So I'm not going to blame the customer, but I'm going to put it like this. If a customer is not paying us as drivers to bring merchandise to them, then I'm not going to lose any sleep by not taking that customer's order. I'm just not. And I'm going to go home, no worries, because I came in this game using it for secondary purposes. I never came into the gig game because I need, you see drivers now saying that they're delivering to get out of debt. They need the money because they got to pay bills and all that kind of stuff. And I get it. Me, myself, when I did it to recoup bills. So I made enough in my pay that I can cover all expenses of my needs. And then I would use the app to go back out when it was profitable. And I would go back out and make these deliveries in order to recoup the losses, right? And for the most part, if you stayed on it, right? If you really stayed in it full-fledged, which once upon a time I used to. I was really into this daily, right? Just like right now where I'm at, I'm on the parking lot where I used to make grocery deliveries from HEB. And I would be here. And when this thing was really strong, man, you can come over here. I'll be coming across that bridge like I'm doing right now, or like I was doing, and I would already have a hit. I would already be $40 up for the morning because that is how much customers respected what we did for them. And we used to get paid for doing that. Now, doing these deliveries, you see customers trying to get you to bring stuff to them for $12 and below, right? So that is the reason why I stopped this altogether. When I started seeing those type of numbers, that is when I said, I don't need this. It's a one, right? I love recouping my bills. I love when I was doing it so much that I actually had an overhead of earn that when bills did come around, I had already started stacking up a nice account for myself that everything was met. But once I started seeing them numbers drop, that is when I said, you know what, time to wrap this up because I don't want to look like I'm in the need situation, right? I don't want that. I always try to see it as a want, but on the same plate of what I'm eating off of and what I'm talking about, I never blame the customers because the customers are the reason that we are able to do this, right? There's nothing coming from the apps paying you to go over to a restaurant and pick up a delivery unless you're doing, I'm not going to say catering. I'm going to say it like this. This lady actually walked to the wrong car. There's another car. Wow. There's another car that actually looks like hers. Only thing is, it's an older car, but she actually walked to that car. She's sticking the key in, trying to get in there. They actually have the same window freshener in the window. I kid you not. They have the same window. They're both Sentras, Nissans. And those cars look exactly alike, except one is older. But of course, I get it. It's early in the morning. She is going over. She's thinking that's her car. And then she realizes, oh, this is not my car. She goes over to the other one. And I've seen that happen before because a lady, one time I had a Tahoe, my 2024, I believe it was. And I remember that I opened up the back and this lady thought somebody was trying to break into her truck. We had the same truck parked in front of each other. She was parked like in the parking lot and she was facing mine. And we just happened to be in the same one. So she got confused and she thought that she was letting up. I guess she thought she must have hit a key and let up her thing. So I'm coming down and she's stopping and she's looking in it and she's like, this can't be my truck, right? Because as a fisherman, I had sand in there. And she was like, my truck is nicer and cleaner than this. I was like, lady, I'm a fisherman. And she was like, I know, but at the same time, I know this is not my truck. So she got confused, long story short. But yeah, this lady just did that. So that was kind of funny. That's my little morning funny run. They got the same freshener though. But anyway, talking about customers, man. Drivers, for some reason, they blame the customers more than they blame the apps. Some of them blame the apps, but they're still out here doing this, right? They're still out here getting up in the morning and they're making these deliveries. And a lot of them, you know, for the best case scenario, they're doing it because they actually need to get that extra money in order to get things taken care of. But you had people in the early days when we came in here, this was just a money grab. That's all it was, man. It was a money grab. So much money being made. And then when they changed the dynamic, that is when a lot of other drivers got woke, such as myself. We woke up and then we just realized, hey, this isn't it. So we let it go. But I still weigh in on it. And I would say one of the things that drivers should do, hopefully in your market, you have more higher numbers than you have low. I always remember when you take low ball numbers, that's another conversation, but you just got to remember this. When you take low ball numbers, you are taking yourself and miss an opportunity to actually get another order that could have been better. So when you think you need to take that order because you want to try to get some extra brownie points for your AR, whatever you think and believe in, that's your belief. Me, myself, I never cared about an AR. I never cared about the app getting upset or whatever. Who cares? I'm not sacrificing for you. I'm not going to do that. So, you know, you can get mad at the customers all you want, but if you're doing this, you should make sure that you're doing it in a market where you can have more success than problems. You feel what I'm saying? Because this thing can bring stress to you. It can make you just feel all type of ways upset, and you don't want that type of feeling. You don't want to go home and, you know, it almost wake up in the morning, hate to go do deliveries because you already know what the day is going to be like, but you can't help it. You got to get behind the wheel of your vehicle and go make deliveries for some reason, and you can't help it. And you already know what the outcome is going to be. It's going to be just like it was yesterday, the same headache. So, you know, again, this one right here is just about drivers getting mad at customers for some reason. That's what they do. But anyway, with that said, I'm out. Y'all be safe out there. Peace.